Rifftrax. I don't have a click tracks, but riffs I'm missing. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? Rifftrax picks on the tracks when riffing. It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And we are on episode 3 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed, where I take 5 Rifftrax shorts in chronological order and give them a rating between 1 through 5. As I've said before, I don't think there's such a thing as a bad Rifftrax short, so the points are good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular. And I just want to insert my normal apology for the lighting here. I'm saving up, gotta look up some stuff on Amazon. I want to find some good lamps or something I can put in here to get some consistency. I'm just shooting in our dining room, and this just gets really bright. It's even brighter on camera than it is in real life, so I'm gonna get to work on that. But anyway, some of my favorite shorts we're going to be talking about today. We have some really great ones, so let's get right into it. Episode 3 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed. Number 11, One Got Fat, from April 18th, 2008.
One day they
Hey, shh! You're interrupting their pre-filmed group prayer.
in a little
If you recall from last week, we covered If Mirrors Could Speak, which featured kids as clowns. But if you thought that was creepy, that was nothing compared to this. This short is about a group of kids who are going on a bike trip to have a picnic in the park, and they learn bicycle safety along the way. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? What could go wrong? Well, how about the fact that they're all horrifying monkeys who get picked off one by one?
No! Oh my God!
they were ready to go, and at a given signal, they went.
A bicycle safety film where apes evolved from men? There's got to be an answer.
Don't look for it, Mike. You may not like what you find.
They've done the impossible. They've made monkeys even more terrifying than they are.
This Ike in the bunch, and he was
Oh, God help me!
Breathe, Bill, breathe.
No, they're gonna find me.
the lead, and he knew very well that
Make signals to indicate that you are a horrible hellspawn monkey.
and down far. But a lot can happen in 9 blocks, right?
You talking to the hideous mutants or us?
There. Now she knows that she should. She knows.
One sign I'll watch for is gangs of bicycle-riding simians. Then the end is surely
Being
come.
happy, or pretty soon he began to feel silly making so many signals to stay out in front. So he
plucked his eyes out.
so tired.
This is definitely high on that list of creepiest things Rifftrax has ever covered. The characters being monkeys is bad enough, but who greenlit those masks? They are hideous and terrible, and yes, they will haunt your nightmares for a couple of weeks after seeing this. And come on, you're already scarring the poor children forced to watch this just by having them look at those papier-mâché messes. But adding in the fact that the monkeys get taken out because of their failure to ride their bikes safely, that's just adding insult to disturbing injury.
Hey, fractured fairy tale guy, are you really gonna kill off all these monkeys one by one? Because if so, I support you.
Let me.
We made it! Wait, that's not good.
Then Ma hit him with a cast iron skillet. Okay, time to ask the obvious question. Do they notice that the others are getting destroyed one by one?
Mike, stop imposing your Homo sapien hegemonic values on monkey culture, all right?
Got her one good reason.
And that reason is God hates monkeys.
They're his one regret. Even horseshoe crabs are part of the divine plan, but not monkeys.
But he'll find out that there's not a shred of a break left.
Guess his wheel can't turn 30 degrees either. Nothing to do but die.
Okay, did he die or did we?
You want?
Mike, Kevin, and Bill help us through this psychological endurance test, and in the end, I think we're all a little better for having seen this craziness. You just might want to sleep with the lights on for a while. I'm giving this one a 4.5 out of 5.
This is like 10 Little Indians, except the Indians are furry and gross and have no eyes, and they get randomly slaughtered.
Number 12, Drugs Are Like That, from June 17th, 2008.
I know, all right. But do you know what they do?
A movie? Are you in the middle of something?
We could come back.
Sit down, you two. If I gotta sit through this, so do you.
There are.
This is one of the best things the guys have ever done, period. It's so ridiculous and vague, and even watching the short by itself would be entertaining, but the riffs are top-notch here. It features 2 of the either slowest or maybe just least observant children you've ever seen talking about drugs. With the help of a narrator, they ramble on and compare drugs to so many things, it's easy to lose count.
Lots of things make you feel funny. Drugs are like that.
Drugs are like random Moog synthesizer noises, too.
You told us about a baby. A what? A baby.
What in God's name is a baby?
This is a baby.
What the hell? This is an instruction manual for Martians?
Very good care. Drugs are like that, too.
Ah, so now drugs are like torturing infants.
You know
Got
what
it.
that means?
This is a sort of a game, not stepping on the lines and cracks. It's kind of fun. But if you play it long enough, it can get to be a habit. Drugs are like that.
Oh, okay, so to sum up thus far, drugs are like a baby's nook,
Right.
they're like torturing infants, and now like a stupid children's game.
Habits are very
Samuel Beckett wrote this, right?
Yes, if by Samuel Beckett you mean a brain-dead box turtle.
Some things can make you look pretty stupid. Drugs are like that, too.
All right, hang on. I'm losing count of what drugs are like now.
Drugs are like that.
They're also like Persian poetry, topsoil, the Ides of March, butterscotch pudding, and paper clips.
The lady said that habits were very easy to get started and very hard to stop. I could. You could what? Stop a habit.
Why don't you listen, you bonehead?
Calm down, Bill.
Drugs are like that, too.
And like weasels and celery.
Some things are against the law, you know. Drugs are like that.
Drugs are also like hats, rain, and wildebeest.
And so continues one of the great debates of the 20th century.
I love how this short spends so freaking long just telling us that drugs are like this and drugs are like that too, before giving any actual lesson to the poor saps who were forced to watch this in their 5th grade classrooms. It's like, okay, so drugs are like drowning and babies and spinning on swing sets, but what the heck does that have to do with anything?
Drugs are also like carpet and silence.
Drugs are like that, too.
Did I mention that drugs are also like ball-peen hammers and fondue?
What are you making? Something?
You know, drugs are like something.
What do you mean, hurt? What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Okay, you guys are cut off. You too, you jabbering movie kids.
How do you know?
Drugs are like that.
And like bookbinding and
Never mind what
pants.
they look like they'll do. It's what they might do you have to worry about.
Diagram that sentence, I dare you.
You know what? What? People are like that.
And drugs are like people too, as well as this.
If I could recommend only one Rifftrax short to everyone, this would be it. Obviously, this masterpiece gets a 5 out of 5.
You know what? What?
What do you mean?
Drugs are like that.
Ah, good. Message received. Hey, let's get some drugs in us, ASAP.
Yeah.
Number 13, Down and Out, from July 1st, 2008.
It may look like a shortcut to jump down. That's often a shortcut.
Ah, I forgot how my body works and what gravity is for and where I am in space.
Are you clumsy? I don't mean just occasionally shuffling your feet and stubbing your toes or something like that. I mean, are you tripping over things every 5 to 7 seconds or so? Are you falling flat on your face if you take more than 3 steps per minute? If so, then this is the instructional short for you.
People seem to have the idea fall, they'll be able to get up and walk away.
When really they should just die.
Doesn't a surface moves out from under them,
Remember, surfaces are out to get you.
just moving from one place to another at work always involves the possibility of tripping or stumbling over an object, large or small.
Like a bobby pin or an airplane hanger.
Falls are second only to auto accidents in number of fatalities.
Sidewalk chalk kills literally millions.
People set a straight ladder 1/4 as far as the height of its support point.
Then send a coworker up first to see if it's
particularly
safe.
important. Balance is a critical factor in falls.
So try to have some.
Yeah.
This was actually the first Rifftrax short I ever saw, and I've been completely hooked ever since. It's just so over the top and goofy. All it is a narrator watching this hapless dope fall over himself a couple dozen times and giving us instructions so we don't turn out like him. But I'm pretty sure with some common sense and, actual use of our eyeballs, we'll be totally fine.
Thinking only of the task and not how to do it. A natural reflex attempt to reach out for something to hold on to.
Ah, my career as a hand model!
Make things Carrying something can greatly increase the risk of falling. A new balance factor is added,
I used to play synthesizer for the group New Balance Factor.
and if the resistance suddenly changes, you can be thrown for a painful fall.
So just don't do anything at all, ever.
A fall is practically guaranteed.
If you don't shatter your knee, we'll refund all your money.
Another common way of destroying balance is overreaching.
Trying to act when you haven't a shred of talent.
The best trick of all is not to fall.
Thank you, everyone. For my next trick, I will not fall.
Height is another complicating factor, greatly increasing the seriousness of a fall.
So be shorter.
This is what started my Rifftrax addiction. Now let it become a part of yours. This one is a definite 5 out of 5.
Remember, take only one tentative step every minute or so. Wrap yourself in pillows and thick comforters. Eat baby food and fear strangers. Good night.
Number 14, Patriotism, from July 3rd, 2008.
Yes, everybody helps on Arbor Day.
Unless Arbor Day and Life Day happen to coincide, then, Chewbacca's out.
Just a few minutes ago, we learned that everything is like drugs. But did you also know that everything can be patriotic? Oh, it's true. From painting a fence to being a good person to keeping your friends from getting run over, there are literally millions of ways to show your patriotism.
Being proud of where you live is being patriotic.
Unless you're from
Doing
Utah.
something about it. How can you help?
Well, I guess I can put on a plaid dress and set the table.
Cooperation with people and cooperation with the land.
Please, don't fight with
How
your
can you
yard.
cooperate with your...
Patriotism is illegally painting your neighbor's natural wood fence.
Patriotism is being responsible.
Look, why don't you just go ahead and list all that patriotism isn't?
Oh, that's right, Ronnie. We could do a lot.
Unpatriotic posture. Making ugly things even uglier is what patriotism is all about.
If you find the beauty and the goodness in nature, don't you think you'll find the beauty and goodness in yourself?
Look, we don't know what that means either, so don't ask.
What is... There are many ways to show your patriotism.
Yeah, apparently.
What helps heap on an extra dose of awkward to this thing is that the narrator is Bob Crane. Because if there's a guy you can trust to teach your children about doing the right thing, it's Bob Crane.
Now, that's what I call a little act of patriotism.
Then Bob Crane had a funny sense of what constituted a little act of patriotism.
Well, that's just the point. Patriotism is you helping your country to be a better place in all ways. Think about it.
That is, try to think about it with my horrible frozen maw staring at you, grinning.
Knowing what I did with my life.
Taking the time to show love is a very important way to be a good person.
Yes, I'm Bob Crane, lecturing on how to be a good person.
Patriotism is sharing.
And Bob Crane shared, all right.
Oh, boy.
Is cooperate. We learn to care for others, to respect others. We'll learn how to care for, to respect our country.
Diagram that sentence?
Is this fence patriotic? It is, because it respects the care for with respect will care for others, our country.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna have to re-up the restraining order on that guy.
Water.
Creepy.
This is a glorious little American time capsule that gets a very patriotic 4.5 out of 5.
Remember, patriotism is also using a pen, hiring a plumber, chewing a piece of ice, and faxing your birth certificate to the Passport Bureau.
However,
Number 15, Skipper Learns a Lesson, from July 8th, 2008.
Look, he said, you're all being pretty silly. This is just paint on me. It's only on the outside. Inside, I'm no different than I was before.
I'm still a dickweed.
You're the...
I bet you used to think that dogs were man's best friends. Well, think again. Here we have a dog named Skipper who seems to be little more than an arrogant sociopathic racist. After moving to a new town with his owner, he immediately starts terrorizing the local pets.
The second dog came up to Skipper.
Hoping for the usual introduction.
Come and play with us, he said.
We have rock band. You won't have to sing.
I don't like the color of that dog's coat, he said to himself. He snarled and barked some more.
He's a rabid racist. Literally.
I won't have anything to do with such funny-looking children, he told himself. So he just stayed there and sulked.
Wish I'd never left the country club.
And he chased the new dogs all the way down the street.
I don't even want to think about how he treats cats.
Probably secretly dresses up as one and goes to their clubs.
The silly one, said the big dog. We don't care what you're like on the outside. It's inside that matters. And inside, you're not a nice dog.
Oh, just 'cause my heart is encased in an icy shell of bigotry?
And
Wanting to teach children to not judge people based on their looks is fine, but this seems to go a little beyond that. Imagine the same scenario with a kid in the lead instead of a dog, and it gets a bit too uncomfortable.
Susan decided to play with the children. She asked Skipper to come along,
Out of pity, really.
but Skipper refused to go. He didn't like the looks of these new children, and he wouldn't play with them.
He'd rather sit at home and watch Lou Dobbs.
Don't go into the garage. There's poster paint in there. No, Skipper. Skipper!
Would Old Yeller be as beloved if he had been a racist who got done in by poster paint? I say yes. More so, even.
He sounded angrier than the first dog, and just as Skipper was about to leave...
A truck full of poster paint ran him over.
I'm Skipper. You wanted to play with me before.
Before I called your mom that thing that technically she is.
As soon as she saw him, she knew what was wrong. She went into the house for soap, water, and a wash tub.
She's gonna drown Skipper in soapy water? Well, that seems a little harsh.
This is a really bizarre entry with some solid riffing, but it does kind of pale in comparison to the others we've seen today. While still good, this one gets a 1.5 out of 5.
Being nice is the only thing that counts. And being nice is something inside. Nothing else really matters.
Sure, buddy, as long as you're living in a gingerbread house in the world of make-believe.
I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I had a really great time editing it. It was really fun. These are just so great. It was really hard cutting things. I highly recommend delving into some of the older shorts if you haven't yet. There's some real gems in there, and I think there are going to be a lot more fun things we discover as we continue this. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.
It's time for Rifftrax.